We are back. We are back. So good to be back. It has been a while. Let me first apologize and say, yes, I know it has been a while. Just started a new job for those of you that join me on my live. Hey, hey. I started a new job at the beginning of February and I was working Saturdays. And y'all know Saturday is Dear Big Sis Day. So because I was working, I could not make it on. And I'm talking crazy hours. I had to tell y'all about my new job another time. Can't do it yet because I signed an NDA, so I definitely can't tell you. But beyond that, I'm not working this Saturday. Thank the Lord. So I am back with Dear Big Sis. I'm here with my YouTube little sisters, and I'm here with my TikTok little sisters. It has been a while. Know that I have not stopped thinking about y'all. You have been on my mind. And that's why I'm here. I was like, let me get back on it. Even if I got to come on in the middle of the day and just read one letter, give a little bit of advice, something. But this month is almost over. I'm fully acclimated, understand how to do my job. So I'm like, let's get to it. Okay. We can do both now. We can balance now. So that's what I'm here to do. Okay. So this is your first time joining me. My name is Allyson A. Robinson, or Hey Girl is Allyson, and I am your internet big sis. I'm here to empower you to be your best self, to encourage you to love yourself unconditionally. The reason why is because I did not, and it took me until I was 29 years old, about to turn 30 in a few months, for me to fully love who I was created to be, and that's too long. That's too long. That's too long trying to pretend to be somebody I'm not. That's too long trying to fit the mold of who somebody else wants me to be. That's too long. So because of that, because it took me 29 years to finally say, hey, I love that girl looking back at me, I turned around and said, I know if I went through it, some of my little sisters are going through it. And I want you to learn to love yourself way before I did. Okay. Even if you 30 years old, I'm 31. Even if you're 30 years old, I want you loving yourself a year before I did, a year earlier than I did. Even if you are 16, even if you are 7, if you are 10, doesn't matter. I'm here to give you whatever knowledge I have, whatever wisdom I have. And a lot of it is based on my mistakes. So know one thing about me, if you're new here, I will spill the tea on myself so nobody else has to. I will spill the tea on myself to prevent you and help you to understand that the tea is hot and I don't want you out here getting burned. Okay. And I mean that literally and non-literally. Literally, what is it? Literally and why can't I think of the word? Literally and non-literally. I don't know. One of them words. Okay. So this is your first time here. Today is Saturday. On Saturdays, we do Dear Big Sis. So there's a link in my bio on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube where you can send me a letter digitally through Google Forms, or I actually have a P.O. box that you can write into and send me your letters physically. I would love to see like letters in my mailbox. If not, it's fine. I love when I get alerts when you all send me letters on Google. But you all ask me questions, just like the Q&A I have on TikTok now. I've been answering some of those too. But just like that, I just answer your questions, give advice the best way I can. Please know I am not a counselor. I am not a licensed counselor. I'm not a licensed doctor. I am none of those things. I am someone who is speaking from experience, and I pray for wisdom. So prayerfully, wisdom is coming out too. Okay. So it's been a while. So I'm actually going to do 3 letters today. So it's going to take us a little minute, but we will get through it. Some of y'all have been here for a while, so you know I'm a little long-winded, but it's fine because we have some gems that come out, right? Right? We got some gems that come out. Even sometimes I help myself. I'm like, dang, that was pretty good, Allyson. I see what you're doing. I hear where you're coming from. Okay. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our first letter. Okay. I'm going to choose this one first. Okay. So this letter says, Dear Big Sis, I've been in a long distance relationship with my boyfriend for a year, but we've always been close since 2016. We were best friends before. Excuse me. I love him so much, but we can't see each other because of COVID. And I want to surprise him for his birthday this year, but I don't know what to do about it. His mom adores me and his mom cares about me the most. My mommy-in-law, I like to call her. And my boyfriend is really awesome and caring. And I need long distance relationship date ideas because I don't know what I'm going to do because we recently made 1 year and I'm happy. Please give me some long distance relationship ideas for us to do. Well, first, congratulations on 1 year. Listen, I did not make a year anniversary in a relationship until I was married. Like literally, like a few of my relationships will go to 11 and a half months and then it would be over. Like I just could not make it to that year. Okay, so that was when I was married, and that's when it counts the most, right? But congrats on a year. So first thing I would say that you can do, if anybody else is in a long distance relationship, or you know of somebody in a long distance relationship, or you're interested, like, I want to date somebody, there's nobody in my little town that's worth my time, and you want to, maybe you know of someone that lives far away. I don't know about internet dating. Well, let me not say that. When I was in high school, you meet random people, you get in relationships. It wasn't my cup of tea, but maybe it's yours. I know people that have met up. Matter of fact, my sister is in a relationship and she met him on a dating app. So I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't work because my sister's in a relationship, right? So the first thing I would say is to create dinner dates, right? So just like if I was to sit here and have a meal with you right now, like we would basically be having dinner with each other, even though I can't see you. Like we have it now where you have Zoom, you have FaceTime, where you can sit down and have a meal together and you're eating. And so a way that you can flip that and make it kind of cute is that you have Postmates, DoorDash, Uber Eats, different places where you can order food from. Order the other person's favorite food without them knowing, or just tell them, hey, let's have a date tonight. And let's order something for the other person. So maybe you order each other's favorite dish and then you love that. And then you send that to the other person and they're so excited. And then you can sit down and have dinner with each other that way, or lunch. Or another way you could do it, if you know of a type of food, like a certain type of cuisine that your person that's in a relationship doesn't know about, one thing you could do is order from that restaurant and surprise them. So it could be like, maybe tonight is an Indian food date night. And so you order from an Indian food, restaurant where he lives, and he orders from one where you live. And then you sit down, you try the food, you talk about the food together. So that's a way to make it kind of cute, kind of interesting, all at the same time. Another thing that I thought would be really cute, I asked my husband to do it, but he told me no, but it's fine. On Instagram, they have these challenges where you go to the store with each other. So something you could do, you could FaceTime each other, go to Target, go to Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Walmart, and then you buy, like it's those, like, okay, pick something that reminds you of the other person, or pick a food that reminds you of the other person's favorite color, like that little challenge. I'm not sure everything that's in the categories. But you both go at the same time. You go on your own, and then you put it in a box and you ship it to each other. And the day that you both have it, you sit down and then you begin to open the things up. I just thought that would be something that was cute. So that's another idea if you're in a long distance relationship. But a big one that I would suggest, because since I've been working, like I was terrified to come out of the house too, because of COVID. But finally, like I got a job. I'm literally tested every other day at my job. Like no lie, I'm tested every other day at my job. Get a COVID test, plan a day to meet, get a COVID test 2 days before you meet. And then once you get the COVID test, both of you are negative, plan to meet up. I feel like we're in a time now where get tested, figure out if, thank you. Somebody said they like my background. Thank you. Figure out if the other person has COVID. If they don't have COVID and you don't have COVID, 2 days later, pick a place to meet. You can quarantine those 2 days before you meet, and then you find a place to meet up, find a place in the middle. There was a guy I was talking to like a while ago, and we were like, oh, if we ever, and he lived in, I think, he lived in Delaware, and I lived in Kentucky at the time I was in school. This is before I met my husband. And we always said that if we met, we have found a place, like there's this website, like Meet in the Middle or something. And we typed in our address and we found out where that middle place was. So that's something you could do where it's not a lot of driving time. I'm not sure how far you all live apart, but get a COVID test and meet up, or meet up with mask on and the face shield, or meet up at the same restaurant and see each other from 6 feet away. I don't know, but it's to the point now with COVID that we've put measures in place So now we can be able to meet up. So now we can see each other. You know, I know if you have COVID, I know if you don't because of tests. They have rapid tests, they have PCR tests, they have different type of COVID tests now where you can get tested and quarantine those 2 days while you wait for your result, or even 24 hours in some cases. And you find out if you have COVID. If you don't, meet up, you know, and that's an idea. If you don't want to take that chance, your parents don't want you to take that chance, then we don't take that chance and we meet on Zoom and we meet on FaceTime. All right. All right. Let's go to this one. All right. So this one is short, straight to the point. Dear Big Sis, I need help with my friendship I had for 7 years. Now, there's no additional context, but that's okay. You want to know why? If you did not know, if you're new here, I'm also an author. I wrote a book called The Hey Girl Guide to Friendships. And I put number 1 because I have a whole idea for like a whole series. Okay. But I have a Hey Girl Guide to Friendships. It's a guide for girls on building healthy friendships and leaving toxic ones. Okay. So if you are struggling with friendships, you're trying to figure out how do I leave a toxic friend, but then also something I include, and I'm going to talk about in a minute, you making sure that you are a good friend. That's all in this book. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're a good friend. We want to make sure we identify what a good friend is, put the right things in place. And then if we want to leave that friendship because we recognize it's toxic, I also have a letter in there. And I think I posted it on TikTok, a letter that you can send that friend in a text message or write them a letter or email and let them know why you don't want to be their friend any longer until you both can mature. But shameless plug, this book is available on my website. You can get it digitally. I don't have it in like handbook form yet, but it is that, well, I got it for myself, but it's available digitally on my website. Link is in my bio. Okay. That's the shameless plug. All right. So friendship for 7 years. First of all, it's 7 years. So this is how I'm gonna put it. It's one of two things. Either something is going really well, or you are staying in a friendship longer than you should. We've all been there. We've all done that. Okay. After 31 years, I look back and realize some of the friendships I was in was not friendships. It was a situation. Okay. So one thing you don't want to do is stay in a friendship because you're afraid of being alone. And you don't want to stay in a friendship because, you know, you're afraid of that person. You're afraid that you told too many of your secrets to that person. And you're afraid that they're just going to rat you out and tell everybody your secrets. Okay. Even if they do, you recover and you move on. But don't you ever stay in a friendship, relationship, situationship out of fear. Don't ever do that. Okay. So that's that. So let's start. First thing, advice on a 7-year friendship. Number 1, make sure you are being a good friend. Okay. One thing I had to realize about myself, and I'm going to be all the way transparent. When I, as a 31-year-old, as I look back over my life, I realized that I was a trash friend. In many situations, I was a trash friend. Now, at the time when I was going through it and we had different situations going on, different problems, I would always say, it's them. They are a terrible friend. And I would go and tell my new set of friends, they're a terrible friend. But I never stopped and pointed the finger at myself to realize that I was also a terrible friend. Okay. So the first thing I always suggest, which I've had to suggest to myself, and I've had a whole lot of healing and looking in the mirror and saying, Allyson, you not perfect, boo. Are you being a good friend? Okay. So have they told you secrets, and have you gone and told someone else? Have you called them out of their name? Have you been talking about them behind their back? You know, sometimes we try to think that it's just one person, but we also have to look in the mirror and say, I'm guilty too. And we think that it's just the other person that stirred up all of these problems. But really, as a combination, we've both stirred up these problems and situations. Okay. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to put all the blame on the other person. We don't want to play the blame game. We don't want to play victim. We're going to first look in the mirror and say, have I been a good friend? Have I created an environment for both of us to be good friends? If I have not created that environment, if I've not helped to nourish a good friendship, then some of the issue lies with me. Okay. Friendships are between two people, which means it's not 100% of the other person to do right. It's a 50-50 situation where you do what you're supposed to do to nurture the friendship, and they do what they're supposed to do to nurture the friendship. It cannot just always be on one person. Okay, so that's first. Are you being a good friend? Let's be real. Are you being a good friend? Okay. 2, set boundaries of how you want to be treated and ask how they want to be treated as well. Okay. I've talked about boundaries before. I have some YouTube videos on boundaries, but with boundaries, it cannot just be, this is how I want to be treated. You also have to ask if you believe the other person is worth the time, if you believe the other person is worth the sacrifice. How do you want to be treated as a friend? Okay. We want to know how they want to be treated because you want to be a good friend too. You don't want to just put the pressure on somebody else to be a good friend to you. You also want to be a good friend to them as well. It's 50-50. So when we're setting boundaries, boundaries are basically, this is how I desire to be treated. There are non-negotiables there. Boundaries, sometimes they change with us. They change over time, which is fine. But there are some non-negotiables. I want to be respected. I don't want to be called out of my name. You know, those are some non-negotiables. So if you notice at the beginning of the friendship that they like, hey, B, what's up? Or they like, you such a B. What? I don't want to be called out my name. So before you're friends, they're calling you out of your name. Before you even, extended the hand of friendship, they're calling you out of your name. What do you think is going to happen in a friendship? If before you're friends, you say, if I'm going to confide in you, please don't tell anybody else. And you say to them, oh, I like so-and-so in our class. And then he comes up to you like, so I heard you like me. And you only told her. Why are you going to still be her friend? Why are you going to extend to her friendship if you already know that small things like telling her who you like is going to get out? Because if a small thing like that is going to get out, what do you think is going to happen when something big happens and you try to entrust that information to her? What do you think is going to happen? She's going to open her mouth. She's going to say something. So we set boundaries in the beginning to let people know this is what I tolerate and this is what I don't tolerate. Period. These are my non-negotiables. Period. If I hear a rumor about you, I'm going to come to you first. Or if you hear that I said a rumor about you, come to me first. Don't get angry. And as soon as they hear something, y'all not talking and you're trying to figure out what's wrong. And then you figure out 2 days later, because she heard you talked about her. No, we don't want to continue to dive deeper in a friendship, and know that no matter how long you've been friends, it's never too late to set boundaries. It's never too late for you to set boundaries in friendships, ever. You can always press pause and press reset. Okay, we can always step back and say, hey, this friendship is not working out. I would like to still be friends with you because I feel like we have a lot in common. I feel like, we work well together at certain times. So because of that, I would like this friendship to work. However, it's not working the way it is. Let's take some time and let's talk about what our boundaries are going to be. How would you like me to be a friend to you? This is how I would like for you to be a friend to me. And we sit down and we talk about it and we negotiate and we come up with non-negotiables. Now, this is important because if you say something to me that I know I cannot do, not because I'm a mean person, but if I just don't have the capacity to do it. So if you say to me, I need you to answer the phone every night at 7:00 and we're going to talk until we fall asleep. And I know I like to go to sleep at 7:00 because I like my sleep. We may not be the best of friends if you can't negotiate on that point, because I'm not going to be a good friend to you because I value my sleep. So if I say to you, don't text me or call me after 8 p.m. and the first week you texting and calling me and it's 10:00, 9:00 because you want to talk to me about something, you're not respecting my boundary because I told you I value my sleep. And if you can't respect that boundary, then maybe we should not be friends at this moment. And it's okay because we grow and we evolve. Maybe I, stay up later at night and maybe you learn to go to sleep earlier. But right now in this moment, you may not have the capacity to be the friend that I need. And there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Because sometimes we go into friendships. A lot of times we go into friendships blind and we go in with unrealistic expectations. We go in blind because we're like, oh, you like BTS, I like BTS. We should be best friends. No, because you could be a trash friend. Just because you like BTS don't mean we BFFs. No. And I've been there before where as soon as I meet somebody and we have two things in common, I'm thinking we BFFs. No, I don't know your character. I don't know what you're like. I don't know how you were raised. I don't know if you have the same values I have. And if you don't, we probably can't be friends. But because we both like BTS and we both like to get on TikTok, that doesn't make us best friends. That means we have two things in common. How nice. Next. What do you like when you're mad? What do you like when you're sad? What do you like when you hear I spread a rumor about you? Like, those are the things I need to know before I start telling you my business, because I need to know if you're going to spread my business around after I've given you the title of friend. It is never too late to set boundaries. Hear me. It's never too late to set boundaries. Okay. Next thing, in every friendship and relationship, voice your concerns. Do not be quiet about them. Don't go tell your other two BFFs that you got a problem with this one BFF. It's going to cause drama. Okay. Because if your other two BFFs ever have a problem with you, they're going to go and tell her what you said. I cannot tell you the amount of messages I have gotten in my inbox from some of my little sisters saying, I'm scared because I talked about my best friend when I was mad at her to somebody else, and I'm scared they're going to tell her because we friends again. But if you had just been quiet, and instead of going and telling 5 people, you just went and talked to her and straightened it out, we wouldn't have a problem. But now you anxious because you just know in the back of your mind that somebody going to say something. And it's very possible they will. There's also a chance they won't. But now you're living on edge and you're dealing with anxiety because you think it's a possibility that that person is going to go and tell your BFF that you were mad at them and the mean things you said. Don't go tell 50 other people. Tell the person you are friends with who you have a problem with. Nip it in the butt ASAP. Okay, so if somebody comes to you and says, hey, I heard your BFF. She was saying that she don't like you, right? She not a friend of yours right now today because you got your hair done and you think you all that. So instead of you saying, oh, she said that for real? Oh, then I'm just not going to talk to her. We got problems now. We got beef now. No, because that person could be lying because they want to break up your friendship. No, I'm going to be like, really? She said that? Come with me. I'm going to go to my best friend. I'm going to say, this person said, you said you got a problem with me because I had my hair done. Is that true? I want to know from you. I don't want to hear from somebody else. I want to know from you. And one or two things going to happen. Either your best friend is going to say, I didn't say that. I wasn't even talking about you. That's that. Or two, yeah, I said it. And then you already know what kind of friend you got, right? Or they're going to be like, I mean, I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You meant it like that. Thank you for showing me who you are. Okay. So we voice the concern. So we get an immediate response, not 2 weeks in anxiety, figuring out how you're going to fight her, figuring out and going and running your mouth to everybody else about her. And then you find out it's not true. Now you got to mend the friendship. It's not worth it. Okay. Just go take it directly to the source. Get it from their mouth. Did you say something about me or not? Did you talk about me or not? Did you tell my secret or not? Because in that moment when you find out, you know what kind of person it is. Because somebody could be lying. They might want to destroy your friendship because it's something that they envy. It's something they're jealous of. And you go and believe it, and then they done broke up your friendship because you running your mouth over here, and then your best friend here, you running your mouth, and you're not picking up the phone, and y'all not texting each other, and now y'all enemies, and none of it was true. None of it was true. So it's always good to voice your concerns. Don't just sit on it and be mad and stew about it. And stew just means you sit and get angrier and angrier and angrier. Don't do that. Go straight to your friend. Okay? And be open and honest with your friend about the friendship, about how you feel the friendship is going. Be open and honest. Now, here's the thing. If you don't feel like you can be open and honest in your friendship, then you might want to rethink the friendship. And I'm going to go ahead and get me a sip of my sparkling water. If you don't feel like you can be open and honest with your friend, your BFF, you might want to rethink that friendship. Because a friendship should be the place where you can be your whole self, not have to pretend, and be the place where if you're going through something, you have a safe place to voice how you feel. If your friendship is not that, and you do not trust the person that you claim to be your friend, it may be time for you to reconsider the friendship, think twice about it, and maybe back up a little bit and start looking at it from a different lens. Not saying jump out the friendship, but maybe y'all don't talk about everything anymore. You know, there are different levels. I believe there are different levels to friendships, right? I believe the first level, you're associates. You know, you talk about things you have in common. You talk about surface level stuff. What kind of music do you like? You know, what's your favorite subject in school? What do you like to do in your free time? You know, maybe you draw together. Maybe you draw pictures together. That's associate stuff. You know, I say it's associate stuff because you're not letting that person in too close. You're observing from a distance. You're still cordial. You're still nice, but you're not friends. You're just associates. There's nothing wrong with being an associate because you're kind to that person. Then after associates, you have a friendship, right? So maybe you talk about a few more things. Okay, maybe you start talking about the person that you like in the classroom. Maybe you begin to, you know, share some of your passions. What are some of your dreams? Not all, some, because you still need to gauge the friendship. Okay, you may not tell them about family issues. You may just tell them a few things above surface level. So you're still talking about things that you have in common. Maybe you start talking a little bit more about what you struggle with in school. Maybe you start talking about people you like, people you're interested in. Okay, that's friendship. Best friend is I can come to you, I can cry to you, you can tell me the truth about myself. I show you my good, I show you my ugly. You with me in, you know, when I'm going through it, you know me like the back of your hand, where you're able to say, you're going through it right now. I'm not going to hold this against you because I understand that you're not having a good time. You know, I understand that you're going through something emotionally, and somebody you can call when something's happening at home. Those are best friends because those are people you trust. They have proven themselves to be trustworthy, and you have proven yourself to be trustworthy to them as well. Okay. So there are levels to friendship. Don't just meet somebody one day and y'all BFFs. No, you have to prove yourself as a best friend. And I have to prove myself as a best friend to you. Are you trustworthy? Can I trust you with my good and my bad? In my weak moments, when my anxiety is flaring up, can I trust you to help calm me down? Can I trust you to keep people out of my way as maybe I'm having a panic attack? Or are you going to see me having a panic attack and leave the bathroom and go tell 20 people? If that's the case, you're an associate. And I don't even get mad at you when you try to say something about me because I really don't care about you that much. I'm nice to you. I'm cordial with you, but I don't care about you that much to care about the things you say about me because I know you don't really know me. But when you're a best friend and I hear you running your mouth about me, now we got a problem because I trusted you with the ugly, I don't want to say the ugly parts of me. I trusted you with the more complex pieces of who I am, the things that I don't show to everybody. Okay. So you have to be open and honest. And if you cannot, it's time for you to really analyze, where is this person on my friendship scale? And your friendship scale may be different, you know, but that's something to think about. Okay. I know I just did a whole rant about friendships, but it's okay because that's what this is for. All right. Last one. It says, Dear Big Sis, I've been emotionally hurt by my family, but I have no therapist and I have social anxiety. Okay. So I know she is not the only one that has family problems. Okay. Raise your hand if you've had family issues. Both my feet are raised too. You know, it happens. The hard part about family hurt is that you live with some of the people that hurt you. And depending on your age, you have to live with them for a while longer. You know, and so the I don't want to say the trick. The key is to learn how to manage it. The key is to learn how to go through everyday life and I'm trying to figure out how to say it. Not build up resentment towards your family. One, because they're blood and they'll always be there. But two, because the minute that you've built up resentment and anger and unforgiveness, it holds you back. It holds you back. When you forgive, happy early birthday. When you don't forgive, it holds you back and it gives that person control over you. What do I mean? When I say that, what I mean is, it's not like they have a remote control over you, right? But when they walk into a room, your attitude changes. When they say something to you, you shut down, you cry, you get angry every single time. If that happens with anybody in your life, where they can walk into a room and your mood shifts, or you can hear them talk and you get irritated and frustrated, or when you have to go talk to them, you feel some type of way, that person has control over you. Because they control your emotions. They control the outcome of your day. They control you. So it's up to you to loose their control over you. And you do that by forgiving them, even if they don't say sorry. And that is the key. That's the hardest part, especially when you deserve an apology. Ooh, that's for somebody on here. That is for somebody. The hardest part of forgiving someone who has not apologized is especially when you are deserving of an apology. Like if you know and that person knows they did you wrong and they had not said sorry, but you have to learn to move on and forgive even though they didn't say sorry, that's hard. That's so hard. I'm telling you from experience. It is hard to forgive someone who has not said sorry when you were deserving of an apology. But you have to do it, or you will be stuck in that place of hurt and you will not be able to move on. Now, I saw somebody say forgive and forget. I am not one to say forgive and forget. Forgive, yes. Forget to an extent. Forget to the extent of, I'm not going to hold this over your head. However, I learned my lesson and I'm going to go about our relationship based off the new information I have about who you are. I'm going to try to say that a different way. I forget what you did to the extent that I won't hold it over your head and make you feel bad. But what I will not forget is how you treated me. And I'm going to learn from that so that now I begin to handle you from that place. From that place. Something that I had to come to understand, and I really didn't come to understand it till I was just about to turn 30. Okay. Till I was just about to turn 30. Sometimes we go into relationships with parents, family, friends, relationships, whatever, with an expectation of who that person is supposed to be. When that person is not the person we expected them to be, we get angry. And we hold on to this anger and we're trying to figure out why we're always so angry at this person. And it's because they're not the person we wanted them to be. Instead of learning who they are and then approaching the relationship from that place. And that is a hard place because in our minds, we have dreamed up this image of what a family should look like, what a mother should look like, what a child should, what a daughter should look like, what a friendship should look like, what a relationship should look like, what a mom, dad, grandma. We have created this perfect person in our minds. And when someone comes along with that title, or we see something else, that doesn't match up with what we see and we like that, our mindset around what a mom or dad or a family member or relationship or best friend is supposed to be shifts. But we never communicate the person that we've created in our heads. So we just get angry. I'm mad at you because you're not the person that I wanted you to be, even though I never told you who I wanted you to be. So what I've had to learn is I'm going to love you and I'm going to go about our relationship as treating you as the person you show me that you are, treating you like like you show me you have the capacity to be, because sometimes we expect so much from family members and they don't even have the capacity to be what we want them to be. Sometimes we want our moms to be there and hold us and hug us and wipe all our tears away and teach us how to be girls and teach us how to grow up and be young women. We want that stuff. But what if our moms was never taught that? What if her whole growing up was guessing? And she's told herself, well, I figured it out, she'll figure it out, because she doesn't know how to teach you. But you grow up upset because your best friend's mom is there every step of the way, but yours isn't. And so you begin to assume that it's because she's a bad mother. You begin to assume because she doesn't like you and you're a bad daughter. When in fact, she just doesn't know how to be the mother that you want. And that's where our parents need grace. And I had to realize that about my own mother. Okay. When I started my period, my mom gave me a book. She told me to read it. She was going to work. It was a huge encyclopedia. Big words I ain't never seen before. She said, read this. Call me at work if you got questions. So I sat there looking at all the little diagrams and stuff of the female body, not knowing what I was reading. She called me a few hours later. Hey, you read that book? Yep. You got any questions? No. Okay. And that's the biggest conversation we ever had about my period. And I used to say to myself, why wasn't she a good mom in that area? She was just not a good mom. But then I had to realize when she was coming up, she didn't have somebody to walk her through it either. And so what I wanted her to have the capacity to do, she couldn't do it. But I didn't find that out until I paused. And after I became a mother, and turned around and said, man, this motherhood thing is hard. This is hard. And I don't know how to do this for my daughter because I'm not sure of how my mom did it with me. And then I had to realize she didn't have the capacity to do that. And I could no longer be mad at her. And I'm still working on it. I'm be transparent. I'm still working on it. But I had to tell myself, Allyson, you can no longer be mad at your mother for not being the mother you wanted, and love her for the mother that she is, and grant her grace. And in the areas that you want her to be in, you want her to be present, tell her. Tell your moms how you want them to be present. Ask them to come and help you. Say, Mom, if you don't know, let's figure it out together. That way you grow in your relationship. But do not assume for 1 second, one, that your mother does not love you, that your father does not love you. What you have to understand is maybe what you need, they don't have the capacity, or they were never taught to give it. So they have to learn. They're learning the same way you're learning about who you are. They're learning about who you are. You know, my daughters are different every day. And every day I'm learning how to be a mom to the girls that they're becoming. And it is hard. Okay, your parents did not get a book that had your name on it that said how to raise blank. My mom did not get a book that said how to raise Allyson. She did not get one. Okay, she didn't get one at all, period. So every day is a guessing game, a Googling game. I'm a call and ask somebody game. So the same way you're figuring yourself out, your parents are figuring you out too. Give them grace. Okay, give them a little bit of grace. Now, I'm not just going to stop there. Okay. When you are going through with family drama, okay, one of the things I always suggest is to write them a letter. Y'all hear me say this all the time. Okay. This is why I say write a letter. It gives them time to process what you're saying, and it gives them time to come up with the correct response. Okay. And I've talked about this before. I know some of you heard it, but I'm going to say it again. All right. Many times when we approach our parents about something big or how we're feeling about a situation, sometimes we want an immediate response. We think the response is going to be, oh, baby, I'm so sorry that happened, or I'm so sorry you feel that way, or I'm so sorry I did that to you. But 99.9% of the time, you're not going to get that response. You just not. I'm going to be all the way transparent with you. You just not. Okay, because they're either processing how to keep you alive during COVID, they process how to keep themselves alive during COVID. They're trying to process how to make sure that their parents, if they're still alive, are safe during COVID. They're trying to keep their job while not getting COVID. They're trying to make sure that you're fed, make sure that you're still doing your schoolwork, making sure you're not failing because you're learning digitally. All of that is going through their mind every second of the day. Okay, so when you approach them and say, you know, Mom, I feel like what you said was wrong and you hurt my feelings. Mom or dad is not in the mental space to process what you just said the right way and to give you the response that you need. They're just going to give you whatever come off the dome, which is, what you mean what I said to you was wrong? How dare you say that to me? I'm cooking, I'm cleaning for you, I'm taking care of you. Now, all that is true. They are cooking, they are cleaning, they are taking care of you, right? But that's not the response that you need in that moment. It's just not. Okay. But because it's already a million things going on, that's the immediate response you're going to get. Okay. I say write a letter, write an email. I've written my mother a few emails. Me and my sister, whenever we have a lot to say, we write an email to our mother. That's what we do. Okay. Why write a letter or write an email? Now, when you write the letter or email, you're going to give it to them or send it to them when they are away from you or you are away from them. Why? Because once they read it, their first response is not going to always be pleasant, depending on what you're saying. Okay. They need time to process. All right. Just like if your BFF gave you a letter that said, you know, I don't want to be your friend anymore, and she just handed it to you, and you read, I don't want to be your friend anymore. What you gonna do? What you mean you don't want to be my friend no more? What did I do though? Well, what did I do to you? I ain't even did nothing. What do you do? Pop off. That's your immediate response. It's to pop off. Okay, it just is. So what do they do instead? Yes, I need your charger. Oh, it's the other charger. Y'all, it's my husband.
Hello. Don't be popping off.
Why you smile like you on camera?
Because I'm about to say something stupid. But
oh, okay, bye. Bye. Don't say nothing.
When you take my charge.
Bye. Sorry. Anyway, so what do they do instead? They leave the letter on your desk. You need what?
But I can hear you anyway, but you can keep talking.
Okay, but you coming in, I can't focus because you so fine. No, he fine no for real. But anyway, that's the point. Okay, so that's why they leave the letter on your desk. They give you the letter in your backpack, and they say, "Don't read this till you get home." Now, sometimes y'all listen, and sometimes y'all don't. Okay, but if you got a letter with something that you weren't expecting, and you already got a bunch of stuff in your mind, your math test tomorrow, maybe somebody said something crazy about you trying to figure out what to do, and then your friend gives you a letter that says, "I don't want to be your friend no more," you want to pop off. So, but if they give you the letter or they put it in your backpack and you find it when you get home, then you have time to process what the letter says. You got time to pick up your phone, put the phone down, think about what you're going to say, call somebody else, talk about it. Same thing your parents need. Same exact thing. They need time to get the letter, have their first initial response by themselves, call somebody to talk about it, get advice, pray about it if they pray, think about the best way to say it, and then think about the best way to approach you to sit down and have a conversation. Okay, so you write them the letter, tell them how you feel. Now, I have a copy of the letter, link in my bio, TikTok and Instagram, because there's a certain way you should write the letter. Okay, it's not just, "Dear Mom and Dad, you are so rude, you are so mean, you talk down to me all the time, and I can't take it." We're not saying it like that. Okay, we want to be respectful. We want to show them that we appreciate the things that they have done, but we do want to let them know that there's something that we're going through and feeling based on something they've done that we feel needs a response, that we feel we need to sit down and talk about. Okay, so we need to have conversations, but we cannot expect us to have the best conversation when you give them a letter and expect an immediate response. It don't work that way. It just doesn't. So I always suggest, going back to the letter, I always suggest writing a letter, giving them time to process it, so that way you can have a conversation. Okay. Another thing that I tell people, find a school counselor or somebody outside of the family that you don't mind having a conversation with. So it's an auntie, an older cousin, grandma, grandpa, whoever you feel like you can have an open discussion with, sit down and talk with them. If you have a school counselor at school, I always suggest school counselors as well. They're great people to talk to. Okay, even if it's 5-10 minutes. Sometimes you just need somebody to sit and listen to you for a minute. Okay, so find someone to talk to. I also suggest finding a place of peace in your house. Okay, whether that is in the corner of your bed with the blanket pulled up, headphones on, and you listen to your favorite song, or you listen to rain, or you draw, or you journal. Find a place of peace at home. So when stuff starts to get a little crazy, and maybe your parents are fussing you out, after that happens, you have a place to go and de-stress and calm yourself down. And maybe you write something to yourself that you just start to say over and over to calm yourself down. Okay. You want to find a place of peace at home. Maybe it's the basement. Maybe it's in the backyard. Wherever it is, find your place of peace in the home. Okay. Come up with some type of routine to de-stress yourself, to bring your anxiety down. Okay. Then, like I was saying before, forgive them, not for their sake, for your sake. Okay. Parents are not perfect, but if we continue to hold on to everything that they have done, we will continue to allow them to control our mood every step of the way. And even though they are our parents, I'm not saying disrespect your parents. Even though they are our parents, we still have something we're called to do in the world. We still have a responsibility to be our best selves. Even if our parents teach us a different way, a lot of things are still our choices. And I don't want you holding on to frustration and anger with your parents. Why? Because they're still your parents. And if they passed away tomorrow, you will be devastated. Right? So we forgive them so we can continue to move forward. We forgive them and we recognize who they are as our parents. We stop judging them for who they're not, and we forgive them and we accept them and learn to love them for who they are. So if they're always going to talk about your weight, you don't want to go shopping with them for clothes. Or if you do, you may say, "Hey mom, I'm gonna go in the store by myself." Right? You learn to set boundaries with your parents. And I'm not saying don't talk to them about anything, but I'm saying, trying to figure out the right way to say this. You understand who your parents are and what conversations you can have right now with them. Sometimes some conversations you cannot have with them yet. Okay, because you already know their response. Excuse me. But as time progresses and they have conversations with other people, and maybe you spark up a conversation without saying too much about how you feel, you begin to gauge, when is this a good time to say something? Right when they come home from work, you realize this is not a time to tell them I failed my test because they're stressed about their job. Maybe I wait till the weekend when they're going to have their favorite snack, and then we have a conversation. Or I wait till we're on the way to Target and I tell them what's going on. Or I wait till we're in the middle of Target where they can't go off on me too hard and we can have a real conversation. Right? We begin to understand, this is when I can talk to my mom. This is when I cannot. This is when I can express how I feel. This is when I cannot. This is how I should do it. This is how I should not do it. Learn how your parents operate. I don't want it to be that you're just like, I'm not telling them anything. No, because telling them they can get you the help that you need. That's the thing. Your parents are there to be your first point of contact. Now, some areas it may be harder than others, but that does not mean you should never tell them. I am not a fan of that. You have to tell them at some point, but it's up to you. You can begin to sit down and figure out when is the best time to tell them. How should I tell them? Okay. Now with the anxiety, I have a worksheet. I printed out, but I didn't get it. There's a worksheet link in my bio, Instagram, and on TikTok called Managing My Anxiety. Okay. What you do is you start to put plans in place about things that you're anxious about. Okay. So if you're anxious about talking to somebody different because you don't know what they'll think of you, then you immediately come up with how you approach people. So maybe you have an exact phrase or an exact sentence you use every time you have a conversation with someone new. So maybe it's, "Hey, how are you today?" Or, "Hey, I'm Allyson. What's your name?" Have something that you say every single time, so that way you know what to say when somebody new approaches you or when you meet somebody new. That way you get all of the what if or what if this happens out of your head, and you already have an idea of what will happen. So you know, if you start the conversation, "Hi, I'm Allyson. What's your name?" You know they're going to give you your name or give you their name, right? Then maybe you say, "Hey, I saw that you had on this today. I really like this. Where did you buy it from? What made you buy it?" That way you have an idea of where the conversation is going to go. So you don't have all of these, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to sound stupid. Oh my gosh, I'm going to stutter my words. Oh my gosh, they're going to feel this type of way about me." No, you know how to start the conversation. You know how to control where the conversation goes, at least the first part. And that first part, that first initial point of contact, is where the anxiety is built up. So once you've established this point of comfort, your anxiety goes down because you're already in control of the conversation. And I'm not saying it'll work every time, but I do believe that a lot of our mindset, especially when it comes to anxiety, we just feel out of control. So one of the things that I feel helps is, I'm going to get in control of this situation. Now, some situations may still go to the left. It happens. It's life. But if you can put some type of plan in place, it calms your nerves and it calms your anxiety before you get there. And that's what we aim for. Okay. So we put situations in place so that way, if it happens, we know how to approach it. Okay. Or we know how to plan ahead just to prevent it from happening first. And then if it does happen, we also have a plan in place. So we get ahead of the anxiety, but we get ahead of the situation just in case it happens. But then we also get behind it. If it does happen, we know what to do. And that puts us in better control of our anxiety. When our mind begins to run and says, "Oh my gosh, this math class is hard. It's the first day of math. I don't think I'm going to get this. I'm going to fail my class. My mom's going to be mad at me. She's going to yell at me. I'm never going to be able to go out. My friends aren't going to be my friend." When our mind starts doing all of these crazy things, right? When we have a plan in place, we get back in control of how our mind starts to run. You have control up here. Don't ever let anything try to convince you that you don't control this. Okay? You control this up here. So let's say if it is that math class you're afraid of failing, right? So you get in there, you open a book, you're like, "I have no idea what this is. I'm going to fail." Okay. So instead of letting our mind run all day, we wait till we get home. We pull out the little piece of paper. Link is in my bio. Okay. We pull out the piece of paper. We say, "I'm afraid of failing my math class." Okay. What can I do to prevent that? I can do after school tutoring. I can ask my mom to get me a tutor. I could do Khan Academy. I can ask my teacher to give me some extra help after school. I can ask them to give me some extra help after class or during lunch. I can ask them for extra work to help me work through it. Okay. So that way, when my mind says I'm going to fail, I say, "No, I have a plan." Or, "I'm going to fail this test tomorrow." Nope, because I'm about to get tutoring after school and I'm going to understand it better. Okay. It nips that crazy thought in the bud. All right. Now, if it does happen and we do fail that math test, then we get behind it because we also have a plan. Okay, I failed this math test. What's my first step? My first step is I'm going to go through my test and I'm going to identify what problems I got wrong, and I'm going to figure out how to make them right. I'm going to ask my teacher what I did wrong and can they show me how to get the right answer. And then I'm going to take that paper to my mom and say, "Hey, Mom, I got an F on this test, but I sat with my teacher. My teacher showed me what I did wrong. Here's the things that I did wrong. Here's what I did right. Here's how I fixed it, and I know better for next time." Now, you may still get on punishment. Will the punishment still be as severe? I don't think so. Is it a possibility? Yes. But is there a chance that your parent won't punish you as much because you did, one, try to prevent it from happening? Because this is the thing. If your parents see that you are proactive, if they just see you sitting around, "Oh, I don't know this math. Oh, I hate this math. Oh, I don't understand this math," and you fail, they're going to be mad at you because you never tried. Because all you talked about was failing. But if they see that you failed and you've been a tutoring and they got you a tutor and they paid for tutoring, they're not going to fuss at you. They're going to fuss at somebody else. They may fuss at you a little bit, just a little bit, right? But more than likely, if they're paying for tutoring, they're going to write that tutor an email. "My child still failed the test and you've been tutoring them for 2 weeks and I've been paying you. What's going on?" right? So now you ain't just getting fussed at, everybody getting fussed at. So instead of you getting 100% of being fussed at, you at least get 50, and that's less than 100%, right? We making some gains. It's all about some gains. We may not get a million gains in a day. We getting some gains. But when you can go to your parent and say, Mom, you know, I've been trying to do tutoring. I still failed this test. I did meet with my teacher. He or she, they did show me what I did wrong, and I'm going to try to do better on my next test. They were like, I appreciate you showing me that. And I'm glad that you got ahead of that. And I know that you've been trying. We'll sit down and try to figure something else out. Or they may say, yeah, I know you've been trying, but maybe you ain't tried hard enough. So no, 1 week, no phone. But they could have said, you go sit down and you ain't gonna do nothing until you figure out this math, because you ain't been doing nothing to work on this math. Now we in trouble. But if they know you've been working before, and you prevented it from you try to prevent it from happening, and it still happened, at least they know that you put your all into it. Okay. I'm telling you, it's ways to not get as much, pressure put on you. It may be a little bit, but it won't be as much. Okay. So those are our letters. So if you have any questions, thank you so much. Somebody said, I love your hair. Thank you. If you have any questions you want to ask advice. I know I have the Q&A active on my TikTok. So what I can start doing is taking some of those questions and answering them on our Dear Big Sis. But continue to click the link in my bio. You can either send me a letter digitally on Google Drive, the Google form, or you can write me a letter, put it in the mail. I would love to get it. You just need to go to the post office, ask for a stamp, write me a little letter, put in a little envelope, put a little water so you can seal it, and just write me a letter, and I will be here answering them. If it's not Saturday, I'm going to do these once a week for sure. Pop on TikTok, pop on Instagram Live every once in a while to answer a few, but know that I know my job now. I know how to go about my job now. And because of that, I am able to better work this thing out. Okay. Somebody said, can I answer your last thing, please? Send me a DM, or post your question again. I'll take like 5 questions. 5. I will take 5 questions and then we will be done. What time is it? What's now? 48. That's all right. It's almost an hour. I will take, 5? I'll take 5 questions. Don't put them in you can put them in the Q&A, but it'll still pop up. But my YouTube, Lil Sis, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them. But yeah, I will take 5 from TikTok. Your counselor emailed your mom. No, wait, what hurts you is that you think you're alive. Go check out my last video on not wanting to be alive. Go check it out. Your counselor email told your mom all the things you told. What happened after that? Because that happens sometimes. I would say it's not a terrible thing because an adult told your parents. Sometimes with some parents, they don't take in everything that you say as like the truth sometimes, because depending on how, and this is not 100% the truth, but depending on how they were raised, sometimes as kids don't have problems. Okay. So they all make you think you don't have problems. When you tell an adult tells your parents you have some issues, they start to listen a little bit better. Your mom got mad and you even had told them not to tell her. So what I would suggest to you is to write her a letter and break down some of those things a little bit more. Because this is the thing, if the counselor did not record everything you said, then that means that the counselor just summed up what you said and told your mom. The thing is with that, not saying a counselor is a terrible counselor. Okay. The thing with that is all of what you said and all of what you feel is not being communicated to your mom. So your mom is getting a summary from someone else about how you feel. You don't want her to get a summary. You want her to know everything. You want her to know why you felt that way. You want her to know what happened that led to certain decisions. Only you can tell her that. So what I suggest, since it's already out there, what I suggest is approaching your mom. Maybe you don't have to write a letter because it's already out there. Or if you want to, you can write her a letter or say, what I would say to her is, hey, mom, I know you're upset about what the counselor told you, but I would like to tell you how I feel. And I would like to tell you more about what they said because they only told you a summary. But I want to tell you everything. And you can say, we don't have to talk about it now, but whenever you're ready, I would like to talk to you about this. And I want you to hear it from me, because sometimes parents get upset, and even we get upset when we have to hear about how you feel from somebody else. Because one, it's like, why are you telling everybody else what's going on with you and not me? But then two, there's a little frustration with self, because the parent feels like, why does my child not feel like she can come to me and tell me what's wrong? So it's an anger there, but it's also a hurt. And I'm telling you that from a mother's perspective. And even from a friend, if you had to hear from somebody else that your friend is upset with you, you will be upset, but then you will also be hurt because you're like, why can't they tell me? Okay. So sit down with your mom. She doesn't have to talk to you right then and there, or write her a letter and say, I would like to talk to you more and give you the full story of what the counselor told you. That's what I would do. Okay. What should you do to move on better? I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Sometimes y'all don't want to hear the truth, but it's fine. I'm going to tell you anyway. Block them. Block them, not for their sake, for your sake. Block them. Delete the pictures. Give back the gifts. Delete, block, delete pictures. Give the gifts back. Delete the Spotify playlist. Delete the Apple Music playlist you created together. Get rid of the song that was your song. Why? Because you need to heal. And every time I'm telling you, let me tell you what the song was. I'm going to tell you. There was a guy I talked to, and I said this story like a while ago, right? There was a guy I used to talk to, and we had said a while ago that Alicia Keys and Usher, My Boo song was our song. So after we stopped talking, and after we had a terrible incident, well, I'm not going to say it was an incident, ignorance on my part. Okay. After that, every time I heard that song, I hated it. And I'm telling you, it was just recently that I didn't hear that song. I absolutely hate it. Get rid of it so you can heal, so it doesn't trigger memories. Okay. Get rid of the pictures so you will stop going through your phone reminiscing. Reminiscing is the problem. Y'all sit here trying to reminisce for what? Remember why you broke up. There's a reason, right? We sit and we try to hold on, and because we feeling alone in those lonely moments, we try to make up excuses for why we broke up. When the truth is, we needed to break up. We didn't need to be together no more. We didn't need to be together. So though the reminisce doesn't kick in if there's nothing to reminisce with and nothing to reminisce about. So if I can't see your Instagram, I can't reminisce about how cute you are. If your number's not in my phone, when I'm feeling lonely, I can't text you. Right? When I'm feeling lonely and it's a cold day, I can't go get your sweatshirt and put it on because it smells like you. Why? Because I gave it back. Get rid of it. Delete. Block. You have to heal and move on. You cannot heal if it's right here and you don't want to see past it. Okay? That's how you move on. That's how you move on. And you have to be real. I was just talking to a Lil Sis the other day. I saw he had posted a picture of another girl. Why are you still following him to see that? He never posted pictures of me. You wouldn't know that if you had blocked him. But I don't want to. Then you want to be sad. If you don't want to heal and you don't want to let it go, then you want to be sad. You see him at summer camp, you were really good friends. You can still be what a word I say. You can still be associates. I'm not saying just completely never talk to them again. If you have to see them, be associate, be nice. Hi, how you doing? We don't have to have full conversation. If we get put in a small group, we talk about what the small group is about and nothing more. I don't want to reminisce. I don't want to reminisce. I don't want to talk about what could have been. My first ex from college, we hit 11 months. He broke up with me. Okay. That 12th month, that year, we was going to the same college. He texted me, called me, told my son, it would have been our year anniversary. And what did I do? Go in the bathroom and cry. What am I crying about? We didn't need to be together. This relationship was terrible. But why do you still have my number to call me and reminisce with me about our year anniversary? When I see you on campus, I shouldn't even be speaking to you. Or if we lock eyes, I say hi and I go about my business. But no, don't be texting me about no year anniversary. Because it's the thing. You block them, you can't contact them, but then they can't contact you. Because there are some people that will try to text you a memory to see if they still got a door. And see if they can still get in. Oh, but y'all don't want to talk about that. Let me sip my little sparkling water. Some people want to still text you out the blue to see if they still got a door in. Because if they still got a door, they know they still got a hole. They know they still got a chance to come back in and mess up your life again. Nah. Block. Do not contact me anymore. Ever. What if they want to be friends again? Should you accept? If they want to be friends again and start over, boundaries. You have to put boundaries in place. This is what I would suggest. Do not immediately be their friend first. Be associates first. Set up boundaries. See how they respect your boundaries first before you let them in. You need to see if they changed, right? Now, I'm not one to say nobody can change. I'm not one to say that nobody can, even if it's an ex-boyfriend, I'm not one to say that he don't fix up his ways and then y'all end up together. I'm not going to say that because it happens. However, I need to see that there has been a change, not just a small change. Like you don't drink soda no more. You don't drink pop no more. Not a small change like you pulled your pants up. No, I need to see a whole character change. Those same red flags that I saw and tried to ignore before we broke up, I need to see those red flags go. I don't need to see them no more. But if I keep seeing them, because you on the outside of my inner circle, when you on the outside, I can see what you're doing. And I can see if you still got some of them same tendencies where you running your mouth about me behind my back. Where you going and you texting somebody else on your phone. Where you may be my friend, but then you clicking up with somebody else and you pretending I don't exist. I need to make sure all of that's out your little system. Make sure it's out your little throat. Your name being in my mouth, I need to make sure that's out your throat before we become friends again. Before I let you into my inner circle. Why? Because it saves me heartbreak. It saves me tears. If I've never let you in, I won't cry about you. If I never let you in, I won't have to go through the process of healing because of what you did to me. Why? Because you would have never done it to me because I kept you on the outside of my inner circle. But I cry over you and I'm sad and I'm lamenting and my heart is broken. Why? Because I let you in too close before I knew who you really were. Now, I'm not saying you're perfect, but I'm saying when I set up boundaries you respect, I thought you were going to respect them. So if they want to be your friends again, make them prove it. Those red flags that you saw last time, keep them on the outside. Be nice, be cordial, have the surface level conversations where we talk about my favorite color. You ask me what I did during school. I tell you about my favorite subject in school. Maybe I tell you about my teacher. Maybe I do that. Okay. Maybe that's that. Then I set boundaries. I let you know, I don't really talk about that anymore. And I would like to not have conversations about it. If they still want to have conversations about it, they don't respect your boundary. And if they won't respect the small one, they definitely won't respect the big one. You want to show them you moved on next time you see them. If you moved on, surface level conversations. If they ask you personal questions, just say, I don't really want to share that with you. And it's not, this is the thing. It is not rude to set a boundary and tell people you don't want to tell them your business. Stop letting people think that it's normal to tell your personal business to people you don't trust or know. It is not rude. So if I say to you, if you ask me, so who's been your crush this week at summer camp? I don't really want to share that with you. Oh, why? You being rude? I'm not being rude. I just told you I don't want to share it with you. And if they expect, and this is something that we've normalized that should not be normalized. If they expect that you're going to tell them your deepest, darkest secrets, and they know that they weren't a good friend to you last time, something's wrong with them, not you. Don't ever feel bad about setting a boundary, ever. Don't ever feel bad about saying, I'm not going to share this with you because I don't want to, because I don't trust you and I don't know you. Do not feel bad about setting a boundary, period. Pin drop, mic drop. Do not. I'm glad you're feeling better. Do not feel bad about setting a boundary. Do not feel bad about not sharing your life story with people. Now, if they want to share their life story with you, that's on them. But if they do that, you have to respect them and not say anything. Because you want to show that you're a better person. Because if you're going to go and run your mouth, you might as well be their best friend and get and tell me your business. Because that's what you setting. That's the standards you setting. But if you set a different standard and you change your behavior, they have to change their behavior or they can't come into your immediate circle. How do you tell your mom you got your period? Say, Mom, I got my period. Periods are normal. Hashtag normalize periods. Periods are normal. Just tell her. Say, Mom, I reached that age and I went to the bathroom and I started my period. Just want to let you know. I'm glad I can help. All right. Someone said, how do you learn to love yourself more? The first step is stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other girls on social media. Just stop. Why? Because you'll never be them. But they'll never be you either. You're one of a kind. You are unique. Nobody on this planet has been you. There has never been another you. There will never be another you. You are the only one of your kind. Ever. You are the only one of your kind. Of you. The world, every time somebody lays their eyes on you, they're laying their eyes on a one-of-a-kind world wonder. Why? Because they'll never see somebody like you again. They'll never see your smile again. They'll never see your hair again. They'll never see your eyes again. They'll never see somebody talk. They'll never hear somebody talk like you. They'll never see somebody walk like you. Ever. Which means you have something on the inside of you that the world needs. Why? Because you weren't born in the 60s, the 70s. You weren't born in the 1800s. You weren't born in the 3000s. You were born right now for such a time as this. Which means there's something special about you and who you are. So stop comparing yourself. Why? Because every time you compare yourself, you automatically come in second place. Every time. Why? Because you'll never be that person. So when you say, oh, I wish I had her body, you are telling your mind that your body is not good enough. But then your mind also processes, I'm never going to have that body because I'm not her. So I'm not good enough and I'll never be good enough. That's what you tell yourself. That's what your mind registers. So you're always in this place of, I'm not good enough. I'm not amazing enough. I'm not beautiful enough because I don't look like that. But I'll never look like that, which means that I'll never be beautiful. Not true. Let's nip that in the bud now. Let's cut it out. Okay. You are the only one of you. So you have to stop comparing yourself to everybody else. I don't care how many likes somebody has. I don't care how many followers somebody has. I don't care what they did to get those followers. It doesn't matter. They're not you. And that's what makes you stand out. That's what makes you one of a kind. Period. Period. It always will. And I say this every time. I'm going to say it again. People literally travel thousands of miles to go see the Mona Lisa. The Mona Lisa is, I don't even think it's any bigger than this. This right here. People put it on their bucket list to see the Mona Lisa. Why? Because there's only one Mona Lisa. And the artist that painted the Mona Lisa is dead. So no one will ever be able to paint the Mona Lisa again. Even if that artist attempted to paint the Mona Lisa again, it will still be different in some way. Whether it's the brush strokes, whether it's the mix of paints, it will never be the same. People pay millions of dollars. The Mona Lisa literally travels from country to country, from museum to museum, and not just any museum, the top museums in the country, in the world, for people to come and see it in a little frame and take pictures next to it just to say, I saw the Mona Lisa. You are like the Mona Lisa. There's only one of you. There has never been another one created, ever. And because there is only one of you, that makes you a world wonder. That makes you one of a kind. That makes you unique. That makes you special. That makes you beautiful. I don't have to see you and I know you're beautiful. Why? Because I know that nobody else has been created to look like you, which means that you're automatically beautiful in your own way. So you have to stop comparing yourself and see yourself as the one-of-a-kind girl you've been created to be. Period. Nobody else is you, and that is your superpower. Stop rejecting the parts of you that are different. Stop rejecting the parts of you that may seem quirky or may seem out of the box. It's supposed to be. You were born to be out of the box. You were born to shine. Period. Somebody said, what are the signs you know you're coming on your period? So you may experience some cramping down in your pelvic area. Mood swings could possibly be another. You're welcome. Mood swings is definitely one. I know for me, mood swings. You may experience some tenderness in your breast area. You may be really tired. You may not want certain foods. You may be nauseous. It depends on your body. And then you'll probably see spotting in your underwear. Listen to me. I'm going to say this before I get off because it's time to go. This is your reminder. Go buy pads tomorrow or today to just stock up in your house and put some in your book bag and in your purse. Why? Because I started my period this week and I am 31 years old and I didn't have not a pad, not a tampon. I had to use toilet paper. It does not feel good. And I'm grown. I should not be using toilet paper. I done did this for a long time. This is your reminder to go put some pads in your purse and in your book bag. And if you don't have none in the house, go get some. This is your daily reminder. I'm going to start putting them up weekly. You're on your period and you feel like, yeah, I understand. I felt that way a few days ago. Mine is ending. Thank the Lord. All right. I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. As always, I'm going to pray before I get off, and then I will see you later. All right. Father God, in Jesus' name, I just come to you, exalt you, praise you. Thank you for joy. Thank you for peace. Thank you just for who you've made us to be. I thank you for every girl on here, every little sis on here that'll watch the replay on YouTube and that's live on TikTok and YouTube. I ask you to bless them, Lord God. I ask you to keep them. I ask that when they look in the mirror, God, they see the miracle that you created them to be. I ask, Lord God, that any words that have been negatively spoken to them by bullies or family members or friends or toxic friends, God, I ask, Lord, those words will stop being spoken over them in the name of Jesus, that they will be thrown to the ground to nothing. And that when they look in the mirror, they will see who you created them to be, that they will see that they're beautiful, world wonder, that Lord God, that the love you have for them will begin to bubble up on the inside of them and they will begin to love themselves. I pray, God, that you would just be with them during this pandemic, cover each and every one of them. I pray, Lord God, that sickness will not be their portion in the name of Jesus, Lord. I pray, Lord God, that the spirit of fear will be lifted off of them in the name of Jesus, that they will feel bold enough to speak up about their boundaries and bold enough to speak up about who they are, God. I ask that you would give them sweet sleep in Jesus' name, that they will have a spirit of peace in Jesus' name. Amen. I love y'all. I will see y'all later. Bye.